Welcome to episode 3 of Comics and Coffee, the weekly TV show where your favorite work-in-progress host... Did I say TV show?
Yeah,
your favorite podcast where you're...
No, it's fucked up.
It's all over. We're done. We're done, guys. No podcast this week.
Couldn't do it.
Your favorite work-in-progress hosts sit around and bullshit about comics and all of the events around them for 30 minutes or so every week. I am your host, but starting to my left, we have...
Jake, Mitch,
and I am Andrew.
You didn't do it in the deep voice.
So
fucked up the rotation, man.
It's not the most exciting week in all of comic books, I think, since we started doing this.
It's exciting for me.
It seems to be. Well, I mean, maybe it's exciting for you guys. Just what I'm seeing, there's not a ton of news out on the wire, and there weren't a ton of books coming out this week that I was super interested in. But if you guys have specific things you want to address,
Andrew, it's not the quantity of the news; it's the quality.
It's the quality of the news.
And the biggest news for me is Joseph Gordon-Levitt starring and directing in the SANDMAN movie.
It's true. I guess we'll hit on that first. I'd almost forgotten about that because we talked about it on the actual show this week.
We also have to mention the Ant-Man stuff.
Yes. Trust me, it's all on my docket.
Yes. All right, excellent.
I've got it all loaded up. I'm ready to do this.
So take us away, host man.
Okay, well, Jake, since you brought it up, Joseph Gordon-Levitt has made it his mission to do this whole SANDMAN thing. This is more your cup of tea. Do you want to run us through it real quick?
I mean, that's really the gist of it. I'm excited about it because of Joseph Gordon-Levitt and it's SANDMAN. So I'm just gonna sit in the masturbation. That's what I was gonna say.
I'm going to sit in the masturbation.
That's why I started the word theater with mast.
You are the master debater, Jake.
What I was gonna say was I'm gonna sit in the theater and masturbate in the back row, but that's just what I do. So
I always remember an Anna Kendrick tweet she tweeted like a year ago where it was like it's considered rude to masturbate at Ryan Gosling movies or whatever. Yeah. And
she's never going to another movie ever again because of it.
That's you with SANDMAN.
Literally, SANDMAN and basically anything else that's, Green Lantern or, at this point, Matt Fraction.
I saw Green Lantern with you, and I was really glad you managed to keep your dick in your pants.
No, I just waited till you got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Well,
maybe it's just because the movie wasn't that good.
No, it
kind of killed your boner.
It only gave me like a halfie. I couldn't get full wood. It was really unfortunate.
It was only when Mark Strong was on screen.
Oh, God. All of that. And a little bit when was it Peter Sarsgaard? Is that his name?
Peter Sarsgaard,
yeah. A little bit with him when he was there.
Hella actor. Yeah, I've never read SANDMAN. You keep telling me to.
And you keep not doing it.
Too also,
I'm going to do it one of these days.
You might as well just wait, because I'm 95% sure Sonia got me the first omnibus volume for Christmas.
All right, well then now I have an excuse to put it off. So
exactly. For exactly 6 days.
Well, and if this movie does come to pass, that'll be just all the more reason for me to do it. Because I read Scott Pilgrim when there was 2 weeks before the movie came out, just to be like, let's just do this now.
Yeah. Well, and the best part is that SANDMAN's done. There's nothing. Yeah. There's no more to it. So it's not like you're reading fucking Spider-Man, getting caught up in the Spider-Man movie, and it's still going. So.
Yeah, reading Spider-Man comics to get caught up for a Spider-Man movie seems like an exercise in futility.
Yes, it does.
They could pick any number of Spider-Man stories, or just fucking do their own,
and you'll still have no fucking idea what's going on.
Yeah, just go in and surprise yourself. Well, yeah, that's inspiring news, certainly. Having a SANDMAN movie, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I assume, is a good choice for this.
Really?
Again, I haven't read it.
Ultimately, I just want to see him with the hair, because if you you probably don't know what he looks like, but SANDMAN is notorious for having this
I've only seen the handful of covers.
Spiky, very, very sort of straight black hair. Mm-hmm. Really, and I've always seen JGL with very, very short hair. So I'm just curious to see what he looks like with the poofy sticking out on all ends. That's
Do you ever see him on a Third Rock from the Sun with his long?
It's not like that.
Yeah, man.
But it's up.
I remember those days.
I'm excited for that.
Cool.
Long hair JGL again.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we don't have a lot to bounce off.
The only reason.
No, that's okay. But y'all read it one day, and then we'll get on Comics Coffee, and I'll be like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, we'll probably have a special.
Probably that'd be fun. I need to read it.
I'll just remain quiet the entire time with my arms crossed, and at the very end, I'll just be like, "Finally,
told you, I told you it."
You'll be petting some cat that we've never seen before.
Like, where did you get
that? Is that yours? And you're like, I don't know.
I found it outside.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Moving on.
I do have two other news things we can walk through, and these are things that more of us will be able to conversate on. The biggest one of the day is, well, it doesn't appear to have been confirmed by anybody yet. It seems very, 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 very likely that Paul Rudd is going to be Ant-Man.
Woo!
And me personally, I don't know a shit ton about Ant-Man.
He's kind of an
Ant-Man.
asshole.
He slapped his wife back in the 60s and they still haven't let him live it down.
It's true. I do know that much.
Because we've talked about that.
The one thing I keep telling myself is there's no way they do that with the movie. Like,
I did hear a rumor that people are thinking Rashida Jones might be the Wasp.
Fuck yeah.
Which would be cool.
I could dig that. I heard
that would be fine.
I heard someone the other day mention that Lizzie Kaplan would be good for the role, and I really like that idea. She was she's the chick from Party Down, which you never watched.
No, not even a
Did you ever see Cloverfield?
No.
Did you ever see... Fuck, I don't... She was in like a couple...
That's alright. She's the star of Masters of Sex on Showtime right now.
Oh, she's gonna be the Wasp.
Well, no, that's what people are saying. Like, oh, she'd be a good choice.
She'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, for all we know, Wasp won't even be in it.
Yeah,
right.
It's just speculated. Well, they're doing Ant-Man. Wasp should be in it
fucking
too.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, I like her for that.
Yeah, I could see her as that real easy.
But we haven't heard anything one way or
I
the
vote
other.
Taylor Swift. She's already got the eyes.
Yeah. I don't.
Wasp eyes.
Do we want Taylor Swift acting in a
trouble?
Sporadically in the movie they show goats.
But yeah, so Paul Rudd, the reaction around the internet has not been near as hateful as it was for Ben Affleck being
Of
cast.
course not. Well, here's the difference. Paul Rudd's a funny guy. Ben Affleck is he has a real fucking career. Like a drama career.
Yeah.
So they were like, fucking Batman can't be this ass. Plus he was fucking like Bennifer.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Well, I think that's the biggest factor here is that the world has never had a reason to dislike Paul Rudd yet. Mm-hmm. Whereas there's still some people who are bitter at Ben Affleck for all of his shitty stuff that he did at the start of the decade.
Yes.
So now they're all like, oh man, now we're going to get just Geely in a Batman costume. Whereas like no one hates Paul Rudd. In fact, he's like the most likable guy. He's
pretty cool dude.
Ever. I don't know.
Next to maybe Steve Carell.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who's ever said an unkind word about Paul Rudd. So, or Steve Carell for that matter, or a lot of people.
I'm sure
we could go on and on. I'm sure
there's some asshole.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who would? Do
yeah,
this?
exactly.
But no, I think I like the idea.
I'm game. I think you could. Well, him and it's still. Is it Stephen Wright?
Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright is right.
Stephen Wright.
I am not in the head.
It's all right, buddy.
We've all. But no, those two together, I think would be really good with that story. Plus, he's been wanting to do the Ant-Man forever for some reason.
Yeah, it's been on Edgar Wright's plate for a long time.
Didn't he make that fucking test reel back from like 2008?
I don't know.
Where it's like in the hallway. And it's just
and it probably because that's the only footage released, or the only like.
And honestly, I would. I know that the person playing Ant-Man in that wasn't. It's obviously not Paul Rudd. It was some stunt.
Yeah,
it was some stunt guy. But
that's the upside about doing superhero characters because you can whenever you want. Oh, it's the stunt guy.
Yeah,
we'll never be able to tell.
Never, as long as there's a fucking mask on. We give a shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
True. Superman can't have a stunt guy.
No. Superman is,
or at least not an up close stunt guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just get the.
Just another problem with your whole deal,
jaw.
Superman. Yeah. Can't even have stunt guy because you're just all like, oh, here's my face.
Yeah, the most you have is glasses. Whoop de fucking.
All of his stunt guys are the guys who play Clark Kent.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But yeah, and did any of you guys ever see Attack the Block?
Yeah, I love Attack the Block.
The guy who wrote and directed that, Joe Cornish, is also co-writing the Ant-Man script with Edgar Wright.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So it's all coming together in a very positive way. I really don't care about Ant-Man at all, but I care deeply about this movie.
I don't mean to sidetrack us here. Just a quick comment for Attack the Block is that movie is like it's a weird burn. It's not fast. It's not slow. It's just a strange movie. It's really good.
It's great.
It's strange.
The pacing is a little weird.
Yeah,
that's kind of what you're looking at. Yeah.
Anyway,
but it's very very quality.
Yeah.
Quick plug for that. It's a really great British alien invasion movie from a couple years ago. Top-notch stuff. Nick Frost is in it.
Yeah, I do like him.
Yeah, that's what you should. Paul Rudd is Ant-Man. I guess we can all basically agree that that's probably a good thing.
Just gives me another reason to be excited for it.
Yeah.
I hope it works out really well.
It's certainly not a casting bomb.
Mm-hmm. No.
I can't...
I can't find a reason to naysay it.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's
even with Batfleck, I can be like, Geely, fucking... that's all I got. Daredevil. That's another one.
Well, I was thinking about it.
Phantoms.
I mean, just
sources of nature. Reindeer games.
Daredevil, the movie, shit. When I just keep on going, why are we giving Daredevil so much shit? We should be giving the Elektra movie all of our.
But see, people feel bad for shitting on Elektra because at the very least, she was hot in it.
Yeah, I guess, but that when
it was so bad. Though.
Whatever.
That's probably the worst movie I've ever seen.
It was real bad.
I thought it was terrible.
Just awful. Just awful.
So bad. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, there's one other news item, and then I guess we'll just sit around and do general bullshit. But this is probably the first good thing I've heard about the Batman Superman movie in a while. Man of Steel 2.
I'm just calling it Batfleck Begins. That's all it is.
Batfleck Begins. It still doesn't have a name, so the name is just Man of Steel 2 or Batman vs Superman. A lot of people are calling it.
Batfleck Begins. The Batfleck Rises.
David S. Goyer has been outed as the writer of that project.
Oh, yes.
In favor of Academy Award-winning writer Chris Terrio, who wrote Argo. Yeah, and is accordingly a friend of Ben Affleck's.
Do you think Affleck went into the meeting and he was like, all right, guys, so I'm down with this. I'm totally cool with Batman, Superman, you got it. Keep Zack Snyder on. About this Goyer guy. I got a man. He's over here. He's really good. He won an Oscar. Yeah.
So I have one too. They look like his. No. See, that's actually been speculated on to maybe not that complete extent, but Ben Affleck signed his Batman contract with very specific things in it that were like, I want some input on how this goes down because I'm a big fucking deal. I'm an Oscar-winning director,
and I love me some comic books.
And if you want me to be Batman, we're going to do this with a couple of my things thrown into the pot here. So, while we obviously don't know any of the specifications for that, the connection is hard to ignore.
Exactly.
It's almost like, maybe, and I'm not saying that Affleck did a power struggle and was like, fire Goyer, I've got my guy. But, maybe they weren't too happy with Goyer's script because Goyer doesn't write great scripts. And they were like, okay, maybe we need to look for someone else. And Ben Affleck just kind of taps him on the shoulder. He's like, I know a guy.
he just taps him. He goes up to watch them, adjusts their tie, slips the business card in the pocket, and just walks away.
So, and I don't know if they're still hanging with... I don't know if they're going to use Goyer's script and make changes to it, or if they're going to, scrap it.
I doubt they'll scrap it right now.
Yeah.
They'll probably
especially because they've already filmed some stuff for it. Yeah. Not a ton, but they've filmed some scenes.
They'll probably...
And you never want to throw away footage that you've already shot.
Right. They'll probably keep it as, a skeletal framework.
Yeah, I think they'll keep what they can, but nonetheless, Chris Terrio brought in as the writer for that project, which... for the first time in a while, gives me a glimmer of hope for this because, I still don't like the director, but there's no denying that part of the reason Man of Steel sucked so bad was because the script was awful. And getting that guy out and getting a new guy in who has better credentials, I think, gives us...
Really, I mean, if they can make me like a Superman movie or even get excited about a Superman movie... without using Batman. Even Batman didn't make me give a shit about that movie. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll watch it because of Batfleck, but that's literally that's it. So if they can do something to make me get excited about it, then honestly, they've achieved the unachievable. So
we'll see what happens. The director still has a lot of input over how the whole thing goes down. So even if it's a great script, Snyder could still fuck it up.
Yeah,
but,
right.
There's less of a chance. If we get a great script in place, then there's less room for it to go horribly wrong. So I heard that news and I got pretty excited. I'm still my expectations are definitely still very, very tempered for this movie. I'm probably never going to be excited about it unless they fire Zack Snyder tomorrow and then they're like, Steven Spielberg's going to direct this movie or Martin Scorsese.
Give it to Max Landis. Let him do it.
Yeah, Max Landis. That would blow my mind, honestly.
I would love that.
That would actually probably be the name that would excite me the most.
Yeah, that would make me excited to see it.
Yeah,
Screw it. We're doing your take on Doomsday.
Yes! and then I got and I'm like, I fucking told you.
But of any big name directors they could get for that movie, I still think that might be the guy that would get me the most excited for that movie. But because I know that it would be a real labor of love coming from Max Landis.
Yes, it would.
This is a guy who knows his shit. He loves this shit.
His retelling is awesome.
It
would set them up perfectly too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. To do
it his full out way, introducing thousands of characters in one big event.
Well, they already have thousands of goddamn characters in the movie.
Fuck. Yeah, good point.
Probably shouldn't get excited though.
No,
that's not going to happen.
But
if anyone's listening, fire Zack Snyder, hire Max Landis.
That's how you do it.
Turn for the worst.
So I'm going to shift gears here because much as you two read it before, I read the first 2 issues of Spider-Man Cataclysm last night. It was just Spider-Man, right? It wasn't the actual event.
Just the Spider-Man ones.
Yeah. So, fuck it. I'm not down with it. It's Galactus, and I don't like it. And from what I can tell, it's basically just, guys, you remember that huge wave during Ultimatum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
That happened, man.
Yeah, it does seem like there's a lot of kind of Ultimatum calling back, and it's almost like they keep bringing it up because they're like, oh god, you remember Ultimatum? This is like that, but worse, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they're leaning a little heavy on kind of going back to that well. Except this time, because a lot of us, there's the idea going around that this appears to be the end of the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
So I think, whereas Ultimatum was all like, oh god, I hope, this guy survives this, it's more and more becoming
I hope this series survives.
Yeah.
It feels a lot like when I was reading Death of Peter Parker a year or two ago, whenever that came out. It's like, you know how it's going to end, because they called it Death of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there and you're reading it, and it's mostly just impactful because it feels like you're reading the dying days of this character. And I think that's the reason I'm enjoying parts of Cataclysm, is because there's this frenzy and there's this panic everywhere, and everyone's trying to figure out what the fuck to do.
There's still senses of hope here and there.
Yeah, well, everyone's trying to do their best, and they're all like, oh, we've done this before, we've fought off bigger things, we've survived all this, but it's like, us reading this, we kind of realize, like, this is probably the end for these guys.
Yeah.
Like, we're watching their dying days, and that in and of itself is pretty impactful to me. I rest easy knowing that Miles Morales will probably survive this thing.
Everyone's been saying he is. How he's going to survive it, or what's going to happen when he's in mainstream, we have no clue. But
well, and he's far and away the ultimate character I care most about.
Oh yeah, same here.
So has this been confirmed? Like, this is the end of the Ultimate Universe?
They keep saying it with all of their synopses, and they haven't released like any more covers past this event.
Well, that might just be a marketing point.
It
Have
might.
they actually come out and said we're ending the Ultimate Universe?
I don't think they have.
I don't think
Okay.
anyone's ever said
Because
that.
It's just widely speculated at this point.
Because as I recall 2 things specifically about Brian.
Yeah.
3 things specifically about Brian Michael Bendis. One of them is the picture of him in the back of a car holding a chicken nugget, looking at it lovingly, and it says, "Oh, chicken nugget,
Wow,
why you so crazy?
He's so crazy."
And it's a delightful. He just looks so happy. And the next one was that back in the day. Brian Michael Bendis is notorious for taking to his Tumblr and answering fan questions in great quantity. And usually that's a beautiful chord art you have there.
I made it for Bendis.
That's so nice.
For Bendis, yeah. That's good. He'll take Twitter questions, answer them on his Tumblr. And for I'm 99.9% sure of 2 things I've ever read. One of them was about. It was way back in the day. I think probably before I moved down here. Someone asked him if he had the whole storyline for Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe planned out.
Yeah.
Till when he would stop being the writer. And he said, yes, but there's nothing to say that I'm not going to be writing Spider-Man if Peter Parker leaves.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that obviously people are like, what the fuck does that mean? They forgot about it, and then Miles Morales comes
and
around.
now years later,
And there was another time where this was back when Brian Michael Bendis. I don't know if he still is, but he used to basically be the showrunner for the Ultimate Universe.
Well, yeah, because it's because of him that we have the Ultimate
Exactly.
Universe.
Like, it's his baby.
Yeah, and among other things, he's pretty high up in the Marvel hierarchy anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Ultimate or not, he's kind of one of their go-to guys.
He may be their CCO now. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
No,
He writes a lot.
Yeah,
He does. He writes Guardians.
He writes Guardians. He writes a
Either
lot
way,
of X-Men stuff.
There was another question that he got asked, and it was, "Do you know how the Ultimate Universe ends?" And he said yes. But that's all he said. He just said yes.
Wow.
So every time shit like this happens, I'm like, is it time?
Is this the
So
one?
you've kind of known this a while, though, that ultimately the Ultimates universe would end.
I mean, as far as I can recall,
That's
and admittedly that one I read in passing. It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, he could have said it a while ago, not knowing specifically how long it would run, but just being like, if the time comes to end the Ultimate Universe, I know how we're going to do it.
And even then, it may have been at the time he knew how he was going to do it, but since then things have changed, and
Oh yeah.
he may not know how it's going to end anymore. This may not be it. So
That's
comic
interesting.
books, yeah.
That's interesting.
So yeah, that's my take on Cataclysm. It's Galactus, and I hate it, but
It's
written very well. It's still Galactus.
Spider-Man stuff's written very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'm easily enjoying the Spider-Man book the most,
Yes.
especially with the big revelation at the end of last week's issue.
Oh, yeah.
Where Miles Morales unmasks in front of his pops.
Oh, God.
Who is a mutant-hating bastard.
Yeah, he hates...
Which I'm glad they refreshed me on.
Boy, did they lay it on thick at the start of the
very much
issue,
so.
He gets like out of the car and he's like yelling at all the ultimatum stuff, and then he gets back in the car. He's like, "Damn dirty mutants! I tell you what, Miles. Even if you were a mutant, I probably would hate you." It's like, all right, okay.
Let's reel it in.
This is when, like,
Bendis, I'm usually a fan of your writing, but you are laying it on real thick right now. It's already pretty well established by anyone who reads Ultimate Spider-Man that Miles' pop is not a fan of
what's going on here.
And superpowers and stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't really need it to be that blunt and like hit us in the face with the hammer.
Everyone hold still. I'm just going to swat at you for a minute.
Other than that, I think the Spider-Man books have been pretty good, aside from that moment. And I think that the poignancy of the ending kind of makes up for that kind of shoddy beginning. It'll be interesting to see what they do with issue 3. You can't figure his dad's gonna like disown him and be like,
Not at this
"Don't you
point.
save me from this? I can't even look at your face." Like,
I can't even look at you. And Miles gets up and shit like, "Look at me, Dad."
let the big purple man kill me in peace.
Has he even fucking moved yet?
Who?
Literally, Galactus. He's been standing in the same fucking spot for at least 2
I don't know.
I think he's kind of just plodding around.
I
the city and-
just
Okay.
read
He's letting
Last
loose, like,
Stand.
go-
I know New Jersey's gone.
Yeah, New
Because they
Jersey is
say that
gone.
in issue 2 of
Yes.
Spider-Man.
yeah,
But
and he's
What remains?
he's doing something where his minions are kind of
Yeah, he's got a
it's
whole bunch
Galactus minions.
yeah.
of itty-bitty robots
Um,
that we think is the Galactus Swarm.
Yeah,
from-
that we saw before.
we saw a while ago that was
cult
kind of dumb.
Galactus.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, so far it's
Cult of Cosmic Entity.
I don't know. The Spider-Man books were easily my favorite. The Ultimate's Last Stand was pretty good.
Ultimate's Last Stand's actually good. You're absolutely right. Like, that's all the stuff that I wanted to see, which is like Cap and Iron Man and being like, we can't do this.
Against Galactus?
Yeah, like-
so it was like a one-shot?
No, like
I believe there's going to be 3 of them.
I think
like,
there's
with
all
everything
of them
else.
are kind of having like 3, or I thought one of them had 5, but I could be wrong.
Maybe the Ultimates would have
Yeah.
5. I don't know for sure.
But it's weird
Whatever book
because
is like
like
the main continuity will probably have the most.
that'll probably be the Ultimates.
right, yeah, that'd probably be. I'd probably
Which is
probably
unfortunate
Last
because
Stand.
it's not one of my favorite ones.
It's weird. They have Last Stand, which is like the Avengers, like
Yeah.
Cap, Thor, Iron Man.
Yeah,
This is
well, it's
everyone,
Ultimates who are
yeah.
basically Avengers.
Right, and then they have Spider-Man, then they have the X-Men book, and then they have the Ultimates, which is pretty much Nick Fury and his
and Shield.
group
Yeah.
of the Howling Commandos.
Yes, Howling
which is a very weird hodgepodge of characters from the Ultimates, because most of them haven't even shown up in Ultimates, because like the Punisher has, and I'm happy to see Punisher show up.
Yeah.
And then it's like Hercules, Danny Ketch, the second Ghost Rider, and he's not Ghost Rider in this continuity, so he's like spitting lava or something, and he's got
Weird fire powers.
and he's got like, what's her name? Stature, like she's like a girl giant
Stature?
man. She's like Scott Lang's daughter. She can grow really tall. She's like Giant Man,
That's
essentially.
horrifying.
And then it's just a really weird hodgepodge. The Falcon is like the only like completely sane one amongst them
Yeah,
all.
the rest of them are just fucking bad
The
shit.
rest of them are all like, "I'll kill the 5 billion on the left. You take the other 2."
And Vulture's like, or Falcon's like, guys, can we?
And Falcon's just kind of like, "I'm here. Shoot!
I'll
guns.
get these guys.
I can fly." And, you know, so it's been kind of weird. I like seeing Nick Fury being like, "Oh fuck,"
Yeah.
And I like seeing Punisher, but not as much as this
No.
group is. So
Well, it's because Punisher is always that sort of shit.
yeah.
Like everything is serious for the Punisher.
Yeah.
So he literally went from straight face like Batman mean mugging it to straight face Batman mean mugging it.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's no
So-
change there.
I know, but I think what you're saying is one of the better parts of Cataclysm is having this threat in front of everyone.
The nice thing is they are a lot
who is like normally like stone faced in the face of danger. Like
Yeah.
Nick Fury doesn't cower before anything.
No.
But,
He
like,
makes
in
quick
the
snot
Ultimates.
remarks.
He's kind of rattled. You know?
There literally is at the end of their with the deal with their Galactus. He comes to S.H.I.E.L.D. and he just the last panel makes him say, "Why doesn't God move over and let me take his place?" It was like, holy crap, Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Someone
So-
is talking.
I patch a little
But
bit.
yeah, like it's really cool to see him like
Shit.
worried about Galactus, and like the first issue of the Ultimate's Last Stand is basically like the Avengers all throwing everything they've got at Galactus, and it's not fucking doing anything.
It's not working.
And
It's
so
not
at the end of the
working.
book, you kind of get this sense of dread from them too. Like, motherfuck, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like
How do we stop
that was the best we had. And
Yeah.
he doesn't even care. Like,
We could use nukes, but they disable nukes, so...
Yeah, kind of.
Cataclysm, bit hit and miss.
Yeah.
We'll see if they can stick the landing.
I wanna.
Which could be the ultimate landing for ultimate because it'll be over that. So.
I'm gonna shift gears and plug the shit out of this book, just because issue 1 hit today. They have an issue 0 for it, but
Is
Harley
it
Quinn.
Oh.
It is Harley Quinn's solo series.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to go to Comic Cave.
Yes,
Shout out to Comic Cave.
I meant to call earlier.
You guys can talk, and I'm gonna shout out the address.
Sounds good.
Go for it.
They came out with an issue 0 last month for Harley Quinn, and there was so much excitement, mostly at DC for it, that I think they had anywhere from like 10 to 11 different artists, all for that one book. And it's just all of them basically taking a page, and Harley, being crazy, is judging them. It's very fun. So issue 1 was pretty much like the only... All right, this is the actual start of the book.
Yeah. Now we're going.
Now we're going. Now we're going. We had fun. Now we're going. And it starts off with her literally riding a motorcycle with a huge amount of shit just piled on the back of it. Like, it looks like it's from a cartoon. Like, there's so much stuff on this.
Comically large.
And she's just we find out that she apparently had an old patient back when she was, sane.
Yeah.
And a doctor. Apparently, like, he owned this apartment building and like put her in his will, so she's literally just driving off to there
with her shit,
with her big pile of stuff, and for some reason like a mole, like an actual animal that because she's crazy she can hear it talk. Yeah. I was like, whatever.
It's like Deadpool, except there's actually something talking.
Kinda. So whatever. So she gets there, and it's issue 1, so it's pretty much all exposition.
Yeah.
We find out that she owns this apartment building of like 4 floors. Mm-hmm. She has to keep up rent and maintain the building, and she's like, and for that you have a steady employment job, right? And she goes, yeah. He's like, and the guy just kind of looks at her and glares and then leaves, and then the one tenant who's kind of showing around, like, you don't have a dime too, and she's like, I'm very resourceful. And so she goes to 2 interviews.
Very Bugs Bunny.
She goes to 2 interviews. She interviews at like another patient firm. Like, she actually like gets a blonde wig and like covers up her face, and she walks in. She's like, "Yeah, my name's Dr. Harley Quinzel," and she's actually does a pretty good interview. And then we see her walking like to this roller derby.
Oh no!
And she is having the time of her life, just punching women in the face and smiling. And they're all like, "All right, you're hired." And she's like, "Woo!" And then it ends with like someone saying there's like a $2 million hit on her head, and I'm like, this was just an awesome issue.
Right?
There's so much. Like, they're explaining so much, and the whole time they're explaining everything. Harley the whole time is like, yes, all of these things are happening.
Yeah,
I'm in a comic book,
just having a great time,
and I was having a great time too.
It's a very quirky read.
I fucking loved it. There was this great moment where she's driving the motorcycle and she stops at a stop sign because there's this guy walking past, and the guy's on the phone and he's walking his dog, and by walking he's dragging this dog, like the dog's not even like moving its legs. It's like a wiener dog, and she looks at it, and this dog just looks at her and starts crying. Then Harley starts crying, and then you see this panel of like a nuke go off in her eyes, and she gets a whip out of her stuff,
her giant pile of shit,
smacks the leash in half, ties up the guy, and then starts up her motorcycle and drags the guy by his neck, all while the dog is like on the front of the motorcycle barking and being like, hooray!
Yeah.
And she's all like, I love animals! It's very, very quirky, and I'm very excited. I'm actually looking forward to issue 2.
Very fun.
I think I'm gonna follow it. Just because I've been having a blast with it so far. It's just, again, very goofy.
Yeah.
We have a funny character. Let's make her do whatever we want to do. And she's all like, yeah. So it's been fun.
Did you buy that issue, or were you just kind of like flicking through?
No, I actually bought it.
Okay, I'd like to take a read.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I've been loving Harley Quinn.
It sounds very interesting for a comic book. Mm-hmm. At least among the ones that I read, I don't think there's anything quite like that.
You don't read like the weird sort of.
I'm not reading anything weird yet.
Yeah. So you don't read like Deadpool or that.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about getting into Deadpool.
The weirdest I need to. Yeah.
Oh god, Dead Presidents are so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, well, we are hitting right up on 30 minutes here in a bit. So here in like a good 30 seconds. 30 to 30.
Do you guys have anything else to talk about?
So if you got anything else you want to get off your chest, now's a good time to
I'm
do
going
it.
to plug Mighty Avengers really quick. Just on a whim, I picked it up because it really looks like the only Avengers book out of like the 7 or 8 that are currently out. that actually want to use Superior Spider-Man. Like, he's shown up in the main Avengers
so
book,
he's
but he's
on the
only
main one a little
he's
bit.
only had like a line or two each issue. Like, they don't, they have so many characters that they don't even use.
I just read one where he's like eating the guy's leftovers.
Yeah, and like that's it. Like, there's I just read an article saying their Avengers World, which is going to be a new Avengers book, is specifically focusing on several of these characters that they brought into the book that they haven't had time to do anything with. So I'm just kind of like, that's kind of sad when you have to make a separate title just to go into that.
And that clearly shows a flaw in the writing.
Yes.
The main Avengers book is chock-a-block full of dudes.
There's so many people doing
kind of
everything.
clusterfuck.
That's why I've kind of fallen out of main Avengers. But Mighty Avengers, I got to read issue 1 and 2. I own them both. It's very fun. It's the most diverse group of Avengers we've ever had. I didn't know many of them coming into this. The only ones that I really knew were Superior and Luke Cage.
Yeah.
But we're dealing with like a new Power Man who's kind of a jive-ass honky.
Nice.
We're dealing with White Tiger, who kind of ran off after issue 1, but we know she's coming back.
Did her own thing.
We're dealing with a character who's been redone apparently like 3 or 4 times named Spectrum. She's okay. Other than Luke Cage and Superior, the only one that has me really excited is we have this mysterious stranger. We have no idea who he is. We know that he's talked to the new person who is Spectrum, apparently, but like they're in this superhero costume store and they're like, oh no, it's trouble, and they see aliens, because that's all that this is.
Aliens.
So they're like, suit up, and he's just like, look, I can't be seen in this country, and so I'm just like, who the fuck
can't be seen?
And she goes, you're in a superhero costume store, suit up, and she tosses this random shirt, so we're just kind of like, all right, whatever, and then he shows up in this pink and green Spider-Man looking costume, and it says on bright light and big letters on his costume, Spider Hero. And he's just jumping around, and he has a pair of nunchucks, and he's doing really good.
Yeah, he's good at his fucking job.
But the great moment is he just shows up and he's like, oh, I hate this. And he's got nunchucks out, and it's, all of them are getting like little title cards to say who they are. And it says, the Splendiferous Spider Hero. And the little note underneath it, because, for everyone else, they'd be like what their superpower was. It says, the Splendiferous Spider Hero. It says, there is no hyphen. And as soon as he shows up, Superior's like, take it off! That's a stupid costume! Take it off! And he's just like, I don't care.
I'm busy killing.
And he's just whipping nunchucks around, swearing, hitting people in a really stupid looking costume that kind of reminded me of your pink Space Marines.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just loving it because it's nothing but fun banter, seeing them fight aliens of all different sizes. And literally the last issue that I ended on just dropped Shuma Gorath from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 into it. I've never seen him in a comic, actually.
I mean, he's Cosmic Marvel.
I know, but I've never seen him
literally
in a comic.
an old god.
So Shuma Gorath just dropped in, and all the characters are like, fuck.
Damn it.
And I just had this moment of being like, yes!
Everyone around Mitch is like, God damn it. He's like, yes!
This is so over the top awesome. Let's do it.
Let's fucking go.
Let's do it. And it looks like a new guy, I think it's called Blue Marvel. He looks like another...
Like Captain Marvel, but he's...
He looks like another knockoff of Marvel trying to do Superman.
Oh, okay.
But he's black.
But
that's fine.
That is the key.
That's this whole team is very diverse. Like most of the team is, I believe, African American or Spanish. Like Superior, as of right now, is the only white guy on the team. We have no idea about Spider Hero.
Replace him with Miles Morales.
I would argue
they might. Honestly,
if they're all African American and Hispanic, then I would argue that the team is actually not very diverse.
Yeah, it's true.
You got me there. You got me there. But check out Mighty Avengers. I've actually been really liking it just because the banter is some of the best it's ever been, and you actually can connect to some of these characters, especially Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Just because he's like, my family. I'm a family man. Avengers assemble.
My family.
Yeah, so I recommend that too.
Cool. Mighty Avengers. I'll have to give that a look too.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a more concise Avengers book, where it's not just like everyone and their mother is in this book.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of use them all sporadically. I've been reading the actual Avengers line, and it's kind of hard to keep into because it's just there's very little consistency between
everything.
Yeah, it's just, every couple issues it's like this whole new bunch of people, and it's like it doesn't feel like I'm reading the same book. It feels like I'm reading a bunch of one shots.
Well, Mighty also ended off on a really good note. Like they're all fighting against like Thanos' big bad lieutenant, and it's literally like Luke Cage and her just punching each other, and like small tremors are happening, and then Luke Cage falls, and there's this really cool moment where like she's about to go in for like a killing blow or whatever, and then this old lady throws a brick at her face, and she's like a big evil alien, so she like waves it off. I'm almost done, sorry. She's all just like, oh, that did nothing. And she's just like, you humans are worthless. Because there are humans around being attacked by these aliens. She's like, do you have anything left to say, old woman? And the woman yells, Avengers assemble! And soon, like, every person on the street is like, Avengers assemble! And Luke Cage gets up.
We Are Marshall moment.
Kinda. And he gets up and he punches him. And then he has this moment of being like, we are all Avengers. And that's exactly what they do. No. Because they have this moment of being like, we are all Avengers. And it's very corny or whatever. And that's when they decide to drop in Shumagor. Boom! They're just like, we are all of it. I am Shumagor.
I can feel Superior Spider-Man eye rolling so hard.
Yeah.
We are all Avengers thing.
Oh, he totally was. And so it's very goofy because the minute I was like, this is a good message, I'm starting to get a little tired. Shumagor. And he has this whole like little monologue being like, I feast on stars and stuff. Yeah. And I was just like,
well, this took a turn.
Alright, so yeah, it's been a fun book.
Cool. Mighty Avengers then.
Mighty Avengers and Harley Quinn. Check it out.
Alright, yeah. I didn't really read anything this week, so I've got nothing to plug. I kind of doubt Jake did either.
Superior's also as always.
Yeah, I'm sure Superior is as good as it ever is. So
he's running around as Venom.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Fun.
Alright.
It's fun.
Well, I'm excited to read it. I'm going to have to give it a look. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up there with another eventful week of Comics Coffee in the book. Starting on my left, we have...
Drew! Do it.
Who?
Drew. I did the deep voice. You have to do a deep voice.
I have to do it. Do you actually want a deep voice or like high like you did?
No.
I could go, mid?
That...
We have Jake and Vince, and I am Andrew, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week for another episode of Work in Progress and Comics and Coffee.
Whatever does.